Okay, so you've chosen to use Blender. Now Blender is a very professional program that lets you create incredibly detailed images. In a way it's very similar to Google SketchUp in the layout of it, but as you can see by clicking on Google Images, it actually lets you create very, very detailed images and graphics. So you'll be using this on a Mac, and when you load Blender up, it actually looks very similar to Google SketchUp at first. The menu system is very different. Now for this video, we'll just quickly go through some of the basics with Blender. The first thing, as you're using a Mac, if you click on File and go to User Preferences and then click on Input, you need to tick where it says Emulate Numpad and also Emulate 3-button mouse. Okay, and then click Save User Settings. If you then, after you've done that, go to File and just choose Save Startup File. So when you make a new file, it will remember the settings. So now you've emulated the keypad and you've got the 3-button settings, you can then start actually just getting familiar with Blender. Now if you press the Alt or Option key down and left click, you can then sort of change the angle that you're looking at the model. If you hold Control and Alt or Option at the same time and move your mouse, then you can scroll in. If you press A on the keyboard, you either deselect everything or pressing A again selects everything. If you want to select just one thing, you press Command and click. So I've selected the cube that's on the main part of the stage and we're in object mode. If you press Tab, you get to edit mode. And edit mode lets you change how the shape looks. So that's Tab, object mode, Tab, edit mode. Okay, if you go up to where it says Tools, you have Translate, Rotate and Scale. So we can try just changing the look of this cube. So if I press Alt or Option and left click, so that's what it looks like at the moment. Down the bottom here, you can either select a vertex, which is a point. A vertex is a point. Or you can select an edge or a face, so one whole face of the cube. So I go back to select vertex and then Control and click, I've got that top left hand corner. So what I can do is press G on the keyboard. So although it's translate, it's not T, it's G. Press G and you just move your mouse up or down. It looks very similar actually to Google SketchUp, the way it works. So then click. So if I Alt, so I've changed the look a little bit. The next thing is rotate. So rotate is R. Now if I press R, I've still only got that one vertex selected. So actually nothing happens. So if I press A, so I've selected everything on the stage, then press R. Okay, so then I can rotate by just moving the mouse. I'm not clicking, just moving. Okay. What you can also do down the bottom is change how you rotate, but we'll look at that probably the next tutorial. If you click on Scale, so that would be the shortcut S, and then you move your mouse in or out, so that will then rescale the box. Okay, so what we'll very quickly do is just draw a random shape and then just resize it or reshape it. So what we can do we're in edit mode, so just make sure you're in edit mode. Press A to select everything, and if you go again to the left hand side, scroll down a bit, let's say delete. If you delete, you've selected all the vertices, all the points on that model. So if you then press delete and vertices, everything goes. So now what you can do, earlier you did, when you went to user preferences, input, you chose emulate numpad. So now you've done that, you can then just choose the numbers on your keyboard to change the view. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now 7, you're looking straight ahead. Here, around there, that's actually the camera, so that's where you're looking. Now what we can do, if you press on your keyboard, we can start drawing different points. So you've pressed 7 to look straight down at the canvas or the stage. If you then press Control and click, you add a point on your stage. Okay, if you then move your mouse and then keep Control pressed down and click, it actually draws a line between the 2 points. So now you can click again, and just draw sort of just a random shape. You're basically drawing just a shape on the actual floor. So if I press Alt and rotate, so it's just straight as if you're drawing on the floor. So I'll press 7 again, press Control, Control, Control. Now normally you were trying to join the 2 dots up by clicking on that point. If you click that, if you do that, you'll end up with 2 points. So you leave it as it's unfinished, so there's still one side still to do. And what you do, if you press Shift, Command and click, you can actually then select all the vertices. So if I've selected 3 vertices and press F, it actually joins it up and fills it in. So if I do Shift Command, I can select all the vertices that I've just drawn. And once they're all selected, I can press F and it fills everything in. So if I press Alt, like that, so this is very similar looking to Google SketchUp in a way. Okay, so what I can then do, if I press A, that deselects everything. I can Command and click 1 point, and then as we did before, I can grab it. Press G on your keyboard and you can move it up or down, wherever you want. So click that point, press G again, okay, and I've lifted that point up. If I press Alt, so now I've got a slightly different shape. What you could do is practice then with Control, Alt and click to try and zoom in or zoom out. Okay, Command and click to choose a point, and then just try rotate, scale and translate, just to try and draw a slightly different shape and just see what you can do.